So in this lesson, we will compare fractions and mixed numbers using a common denominator. So in this first one, we're going to compare 5 halves and 5 thirds. We know that halves are bigger than thirds because we split this into 2 pieces and we split this one into 3 pieces, like this whole. So 5 of these pieces are larger than 5 of these pieces. But let's compare it using denominators, common denominators. So we know that look at the denominator. We have a 2 and a 3. So we look for a common multiple. Now, if you don't know what a common multiple is, if you just count by 2's in this one, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. You keep going. And then let's count by 3's. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, and so on and so forth. We want to pick one that they have in common. So they both have 6 in common. And they both have 12 in common. And there's more numbers that they have in common that keep going. These are ones we're going to care about. So let's use 6. I like using the smaller numbers. So with 5 halves, let's change it to 6. And we'll change 5 thirds to 6. So 2 times 3 is 6. 5 times 3 is 15. So 5 halves is equivalent to 15 sixths. And 5 thirds, if we multiply the denominator by 2, we get 6. We multiply the numerator by 2, and we get 10. So in reality, we're comparing 15 sixths and 10 sixths. We know that 15 sixths is larger. So in this next one, we can see that this time we have mixed numbers. This is like something you did in elementary, but I'm going to remind you. Some of y'all use this thing called the Texas method. So you multiply and then you add. So 1 whole and 3/5 we're comparing to 1 whole and 3/4. We got to change these, right? We might not even need to change these actually, but let's do it anyways. So 5 times 1 is 5. 5 plus 3 is 8. So 1 and 3/5 is really 8/5. And 4 times 1 is 4 plus 3 is 7/5. So 7/4. We need to find a common denominator. So if I go 5, 10, 15, 20, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. So 20ths are going to work. Now, I can actually multiply these also if I want to. 5 times 4 is 20. That's a way of finding one. But 20. 5 times 4 is 20. 8 times 4 is 32. Let's change this to 20ths. 4 times 5 is 20. 7 times 5 is 35. So we're looking at 32 20ths and 35 20ths. 35 20ths is larger. Okay, now we have another -7/4 and -5 thirds. Ooh, so these are including negatives. So common denominator is looking like it's 12, because 4, 8, 12, 3, 6, 9, 12. 4 times 3 is also 12, so we could use that. Remember, you don't have to use 12. You could use 24. You could use like 30. Any multiple of 4 and 3 will work. So -7/4 is how many 12ths? And -5 thirds is how many 12ths? Negative. So that's times 3 multiplied by 3 equals negative 21 twelfths. Multiplied by 4, multiply by 4, we get negative 20 twelfths. So remember, the bigger negative is less. This is the bigger negative, which means it's less. So that one's more. The right side is more. So bigger negative is less than this side. So this one's larger. Do it one more time. Negative 4/5, negative 2/3. Let's just multiply it. 5 times 3 is 15, so 15 will work. So 5 times 3, 5 multiplied by 3 is 15. I get negative 12. 3 times 5 is 15. 2 times 5 is negative 10. So remember, I'm going to look for the bigger negative. The bigger negative is this one. So it's less, which means this one is more. So larger. Okay, let's put it all together. So we need to order these from least to greatest. We have 4, 8, 4, 8, and 2. Let's look for a number they all go into, okay? 2 goes into 4, 2 goes into 8, 4 goes into 8 also, and 8 goes into 8. So let's use eighths. So 5/4 is how many eighths? Oh, we should change this one. 8 times 1 is 8 plus 1 is 9. 9/8. 7/4. Oops. 7/4. 3/8. And 1/2. Now remember, we're changing all these to eighths. So this one's good already. This one's good already. So 4 times 2 times 2 is 10/8. Times 2 again. Times 2 is 14/8. And times 4 times 4 is 4/8. Okay, 4/8, 14/8. So least to greatest. So let's look for the least amount of eighths. We have 10, 9, 14, 3, and 4. So this one has the least amount. And I'm going to write that in a different color. So this has the least amount of eighths. There are 3/8. And then there are 4/8. And then there are 9/8. And then there are 10/8. And then lastly, there are 14/8. All right, that was quite the adventure. I guess we got to do it one more time. This one time we have negatives. So -3, -2, -4. I mean, thirds, halves, fourths, halves, sixths. They all, you should check the largest, 6. But 4 doesn't go into 6. So I just like to multiply this by, I keep counting by it. So do they all go into 6? No. Do they all go into 12? They all go into 12. So -4 thirds into how many twelfths? -1/2 into how many twelfths? -5/4 into how many twelfths? I gotta change this mixed number. 2 times 2 is 4 plus 1 is 5. So -5/2 is how many twelfths? And -5/6 is how many twelfths? All right, times 4 times 4 is negative 16 twelfths times 6 times 6 is negative 6 twelfths times 3 is negative 15 twelfths times 6 negative 30 twelfths times 2 is negative 10 twelfths. All right, remember the biggest negative number, it has the least value. This is the largest negative number, so, or it has the largest negative value, so it's the number with the least value. So negative 30, negative 16. I'm gonna write this in a different color again. Negative 30, negative 16, negative 15, negative 10, negative 6 twelfths. That's it. Thank you.